If I had $1 for every time someone asked me, what brush pens do you use? Then I'd probably have enough to buy even more brush pens. But honestly, I stopped collecting them because I found the ones that work best for me. So here they are, my absolute favorite brush pens. First on my list, of course, is the Pentel Fude Touch brush pen. So now they call this the Pentel Fude Touch Sign Brush Pen. So I highly recommend this for beginners because the tip is flexible, it has vibrant colors, and yeah, it's easy to control. So for example, we're going to create a thick downstroke. So this is the thickness that you will achieve using the Pentel Fude Touch brush pen. And then for the upstroke, of course, you have to apply light pressure only. There. So the important thing to note when you are buying the Pentel Fude is to have the word touch on it. Or if it doesn't have the word touch on it, make sure that there is the label brush sign pen. Because there is a version of it that is like a regular pen that's not a brush pen, so you won't achieve thin and thick strokes using that. So be careful when you buy this Pentel Fude Touch brush pen, either Pentel Fude Touch or Pentel Sign brush pen. Next, I have the Tombow Fudenosuke. So this one, I highly recommend for those who are heavy-handed because the tip of this brush pen is firmer compared to the Pentel Fude Touch brush pen. So when you create downstroke using this, you can still achieve nice thick downstrokes. And then of course, the thin stroke will be a bit thinner than the Pentel Fude Touch brush pen because this is hard tip. So there is a soft and hard tip versions of the Tombow Fudenosuke. So if you are a heavy-handed and you're having a hard time figuring out how to lessen the pressure when you are doing the upstrokes, definitely try the hard tip version of this Tombow Fudenosuke. The next one is the Zebra Funwari. Similar to Tombow Fudenosuke, it's also in between soft and hard tip brush pen. But I think the main difference is the color is more vibrant with Zebra compared to the Tombow Fudenosuke. So of course, let's achieve heavy downstroke. So you can see the pink color of Zebra Funwari is vibrant and lighter compared to the pink one with Tombow. But when it comes to the tip, I think this will also be good if you were heavy-handed. It can easily achieve thin and thick downstrokes. And last on my list is the Sign brush pen from Writech. So I also like this one, and it also comes with nice colors. A little more flexible compared to the Tombow and Zebra Funwari. So the feel is like the Pentel Fude Touch brush pen. Okay, now let's go to the medium to large brush pens. My go-tos are, of course, Karin brush marker, Tombow ABT, and this one is new in the market, I think. This one is from Staedtler. So you will notice that Tombow has a small tip and a large tip versions of their brush pen. So if you prefer writing larger calligraphy or lettering styles, then definitely go with the Tombow ABT. So there is the tip of this Tombow dual brush pen. And it's called dual because the other side is a bullet tip. But since we are talking about brush pen, I'm going to show you the thick and thin strokes that you can achieve with Tombow ABT or Tombow Dual Brush Pen. So of course, because you are using large tip brush pen, expect that the thick downstrokes will be thicker compared to the small tip brush pens. Likewise, the thin upstrokes will also be thicker. So there is your Tombow Dual Brush Pen. Now let's move on to Karin Brush Marker Pro. So I think this is like a dream marker for every calligraphy and lettering artist because this pen has a really juicy and very nice tip. So there is your tip, and let's see this in action. So you will see that the ink is really juicy, and it also works nice with watercolor paper. And there is the thin upstroke. Actually, I think all of these that I mentioned are water-based, so you can activate them with water and you can use them as watercolors. For Staedtler, I don't have any pink color, but I have the red one. So this one is similar to the Tombow dual brush pen because it is double-ended as well. You have the brush pen tip here, and the other end is a nice bullet tip there. So the size of the tip of Staedtler is, I think, in the range of medium tip. So let's see how this performs. I like this because it is not really flexible. So you will not have a hard time applying heavy pressure for your downstroke and of course releasing the pressure for your thin upstroke. So they call this Staedtler double-ended watercolor brush pen because this is water-based. You can actually use them for painting. Honestly, these are all the brush pens that I use for my daily calligraphy and lettering practice, as well as if I want to quickly paint a flower, then I will just use some of my large tip brush pens, the Tombow dual brush pen, Staedtler brush pen, and of course Karin brush markers. You will also notice that in my Instagram page, I rarely use large tip brush pen for calligraphy because I personally enjoy writing with a small tip brush pen. So really, it depends on your personal style. It depends on your lettering preferences. If you're a beginner, I highly suggest starting with small tip brush pens because generally, the smaller the tip, the easier it is to control. And if you're looking for a structured practice, my digital calligraphy workbooks are perfect for small tip brush pens. You can check them out in the description below. And if you enjoy videos like this and interested to learn more about calligraphy, lettering, watercolor florals, everything about art, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button so you don't miss an upload. Let's keep creating. Thanks for watching. Bye!